The sound jolted me awake at exactly 6:02 a.m., echoing through the quiet suburban morning like a gunshot crack. No joke, I didn't even have to look out my window anymore. I already knew what I'd find. For the 27th day in a row, my mailbox was toast. But this time, I had front row seats for my phone's security cam feed. A golf cart, decked out with a crooked magnetic HOA patrol sticker, barreling down my driveway at its top speed, a blazing 12 miles per hour. And behind the wheel, two retirees in neon yellow windbreakers, clutching those oversized lattes from the overpriced coffee place around the corner, eyes locked on my mailbox like it had insulted their grandchildren. The driver, helmet hair so stiff it looked bulletproof, aimed straight for my mailbox. And this wasn't any ordinary mailbox. I'm talking reinforced titanium, $800, indestructible, by manufacturer claim. Well, not today. Today it got folded over like a lawn chair in a hurricane. But here's the real kicker. As the HOA strike squad sped off, the passenger dropped a folder. Pages scattered across my lawn like confetti. Except these weren't just HOA newsletters. These were the kind of papers that make you sit up and say, "Oh, this is about to get good." But hey, let me back up a sec. 3 months earlier, I was just David Harrison, 38, software engineer, proud new homeowner in Riverside Gardens, a picturesque subdivision in Central Florida where the grass has to be exactly 2 3/4 inches tall, and mailbox specs are stricter than a NASA launch checklist. I just wanted some peace and quiet, maybe grow some tomatoes, watch the birds, live the American dream. Instead, I met Margaret Sullivan, the 63-year-old HOA president with an iron fist and a white wine grip, who basically ran this neighborhood like it was her own private fiefdom. Margaret wasn't just the president. Nope, she'd self-promoted to treasurer, secretary, and, wait for it, commander of the Community Integrity Rapid Response Team. That's CDRT, a squad she made up herself. Picture laminated badges, windbreakers, 3 golf carts kitted out with flashing lights and loudspeakers. I swear, one cart even had a breathalyzer glued to the dashboard. When I asked, Margaret told me, dead serious, it was for checking energy drink addiction among residents. Because energy drinks lead to lawn neglect and architectural rebellion. Yeah, that happened. She had a laminated flowchart linking Monster Energy sales to illegal fence colors. My trouble started 2 weeks after moving in. I was still living out of boxes when I found my first violation notice taped to the door. Mailbox was allegedly 2 inches too tall. Measured it 3 times myself. Perfect. Margaret squinted at me over her glasses at the next HOA meeting, ruler in hand, looked suspiciously like her granddaughters, and said my mailbox caused a sightline disruption that could drop property values by 3%. Her proof? A Microsoft Paint graph with a nosediving red line labeled Property Values, next to an upward blue line labeled Mailbox Height. Irrefutable science. That night, I found my mailbox bent sideways, crowbar still rolling on the grass. Security cam footage, Margaret herself, mid-swing like she was prepping for an Olympic event. Next day, I replaced the box, measuring it in front of 3 neighbors. Every regulation met. Margaret's response: daily mailbox surveillance. Now, her CDRT team circled my driveway every morning at sunrise, snapping photos, jotting notes. Harold with the clipboard, Beatrice holding up paint swatches, all pretending they were on some CSI, suburbia mission. That's when the real circus started. Every morning, my mailbox got creative, sometimes flattened, sometimes twisted like a pretzel, sometimes filled with a stack of expired Applebee's coupons stapled into the shape of a middle finger. Margaret's explanation? Natural wear and tear. She suggested mailbox fatigue syndrome. From highway tremors, the highway was 7 miles away. Once, she showed up with a tuning fork to demonstrate vibrations. You can't make this stuff up. I upgraded my security system, added motion sensors, even tried staying up all night to catch them. No dice. The one time I made it to sunrise, nothing happened. The next morning, destroyed again. It was like Margaret could sense when I blinked. After 6 weeks, I was running out of options and patience. That's when I found the Sentinel 5000. Not a mailbox. A fortress. Brushed steel, titanium core, built for military bases and prisons. Website claimed it could withstand a sledgehammer or a low-speed vehicle hit. $1,200. But at this point, whatever. I installed it myself, triple-checked every spec, even got a city permit. And for the piece de resistance, I rigged a motion sensor inside. Every time the mailman came, it played the opening of Also Sprach Zarathustra. Yeah, the 2001 A Space Odyssey song. I named it The Monolith. I waited. Didn't wait long. 6:02 a.m., Margaret's golf cart screamed down my driveway, windbreakers flapping, helmets on, Harold riding shotgun, Beatrice hanging off the back like she was in a geriatric Fast and Furious reboot. They rammed the monolith at full throttle. The cart shattered. The mailbox didn't budge. Margaret flew into my neighbor's lava rock garden. Harold's coffee became windshield art. Beatrice set off her own air horn and nearly deafened herself before tumbling into my recycling bin. Airbags. Yeah, golf cart airbags. Deployed late, hissing like a dying walrus. It was beautiful. Every glorious second caught on HD camera. Margaret, dusted in lava rocks, tried to regain her dignity just as the mailman rolled up, triggered the speaker, and boom, dramatic music. The look on her face? Priceless. I waited 10 minutes before strolling out with my coffee. Margaret accused me of setting a trap, sabotage, probably even tax evasion for all I know. I just smiled and pointed to the cameras. Oh, and reminded her that federal law protects mailboxes. The color drained from her face. That night, I did the unthinkable. I uploaded the video to Facebook, HOA versus mailbox. Mailbox wins. 50 shares in an hour. By morning, it had gone viral. Local news, HOA horror groups, even some weird libertarian magazine picked it up. The comments were a goldmine. Everyone cheering on my mailbox, sharing their own HOA battle scars, or just reveling in Margaret's airborne defeat. Then the dominoes really started falling. Reporters showed up to interview Margaret. She tried to write them a parking ticket. City council got involved. Why did the HOA spend $30,000 on hostile engagement golf carts? Turns out Margaret siphoned off a ton of HOA funds for her CIRT program without board approval. Harold, now facing real criminal charges, flipped. He confessed to everything. Margaret's Operation Metal Fatigue, a campaign to break my will with mailbox terrorism. She'd done it before. 3 other homeowners, all forced to move. That folder she dropped? The smoking gun. Margaret's notebook, rating each attack, sketching plans to add Harold's weight to the front of the cart for maximum impact. I swear, she had diagrams. And then, the grand finale. The USPS sent a federal investigator. Margaret, in her infinite wisdom, tried to write him a citation for non-regulation shoes. She stuck it on his postal van. Out came the handcuffs. Margaret was arrested for impersonating a federal officer, interfering with an investigation and destruction of postal property. The next HOA meeting, biggest in history, had to move it to the school gym. Everyone brought stories. The woman whose garden gnome got measured 16 times. The guy forced to repaint his house 3 times because his beige was too aggressive. Unanimous vote, Margaret was out. And then came the twist nobody saw coming. Someone nominated Steve, the Andersons' golden retriever, for HOA president. Steve won. By a landslide. Turns out he was the only candidate who'd never measured a mailbox or reported a lawn. Margaret's legacy? Legal nightmares, $75,000 in restitution, community service, cleaning real federal mailboxes, no less. Banned from any HOA forever. Restricted from operating anything more powerful than a push mower. And this is real. Any bullhorn she owns is now court-mandated to only play Mambo No. 5. The judge couldn't hide his grin. Margaret turned purple with rage as they escorted her out, windbreaker and all. You know what I mean? Sometimes, justice isn't just poetic, it's downright cinematic. My mailbox still stands, the monolith, untouched. Margaret's memory lives on in every HOA meeting, every neighborly nod, every time the mailman delivers with a flourish. But hey, do you think Steve is really the right guy for the job? Should HOAs even have this kind of power? Or are we all just a bad mailbox away from chaos? Let's hear it. Who's right, who's wrong? Drop your wildest HOA story or your thoughts on suburban justice in the comments. Trust me, you're not alone.